get through it. It's okay.
All right.
There's somebody that's sitting in this building today. You weak and you worn.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you here today. You tired. Matter of fact, I don't know who it is I'm talking to. You really don't know how much further you can go. Matter of fact, giving up looks easy. But I come to tell you today, give God a chance. I know that's all right. Don't look at me strange. It ain't you, but for the person that is for. Give God a chance. When you've done all you know to do, give God a chance. Let me preach from 1 Samuel today. 1 Samuel. You can remain being seated. Go to the 16th chapter. Brother Safari did such a wonderful job this morning. And the Sunday school text dealing with David, Saul, and God. Amen.
Oh, Jesus.
Go to the 16th chapter. Go to the very first verse. Let me read it to you for your hearing purposes on today. The Lord said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul, saying, I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thine horns with oil and gold. I will send thee to Jesse in Bethlehem, for I have provided me a king among his sons. Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And the Lord said, take an heifer with thee, and say, I will come to sacrifice to the Lord. And call Jesse to the sacrifice. I will show thee what thou shalt do, and thou shalt anoint unto me him whom I name unto thee. Jump all the way down to the 10th verse. And Jesse made 7 of his sons pass before Samuel, and Samuel said to Jesse, the Lord has not chosen thee to Samuel. And Samuel said unto Jesse, are here all thou children? He says, there remain yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse, say and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. And he said and brought him in. Now he was ruddy with all a beautiful countenance, and goodly to look to. And the Lord said, arise, anoint him, for this is he. Then Samuel took the horn of oil, anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. I want to preach this particular message to you today, ladies and gentlemen. How do you know you've been anointed?
All right.
How do you know you've been anointed? Amen. Thank you, musicians. Awesome job today. Thank you, choir. An excellent job from our choir segment for that. That was so good. Y'all stop acting black funny. Come on, say amen for the choir. If they didn't show up, y'all be mad. The story. The story is told of a vacuum salesman who was assigned to a rural community.
All right. Yes, sir.
Matter of fact, this rural community is outside of a major metropolis. And his only job is to sell vacuum cleaners.
Well,
He goes to the rural community and knocks on the door of those who would oblige. And one particular lady opened her door, and he and this lady began to exchange pledgeries, which basically was a prelude to his sales pitch of selling his vacuum cleaner. He began to sell all the features of the vacuum cleaner. He began to tell the vacuum cleaner in a very passionate way, saying that this vacuum cleaner not only could clean up dust and dirt, but this vacuum cleaner not only soaks up liquids, but it can clean up some, y'all got time? Some metallic objects. He began to rehearse again and again all the details of the vacuum cleaner. And he was so sure, so confident about the effectiveness of the product. He literally says to the woman, he says, "Ma'am, I see you have a pile of dirt and dust over in the corner of your house." He says, "If you allow me, let me test my vacuum cleaner on that pile of dust. Let me test it to see with my vacuum cleaner pick up that dirt." And without even knowing what's in the pile, he says, if my vacuum cleaner does not work, he says, I'll eat the whole pile of dirt in. This is a boring church. And dust by myself. He says, just try. I eat it all. And the lady turns around and looked at the salesman and says, perhaps you better get you a knife and a fork. Because we don't have any power. I can tell this ain't gonna be good. It's often strange but yet common that there are a lot of people in the church that have a product but don't have no power. Y'all too boring for me. We got something to offer, but we don't have no power to go with it. And the anointing is not the product, but the anointing is the power necessary to make the product effective. Stay with me. Stay with me. So what we learn from summarization about the anointing in the Old Testament and in the New Testament is that anointing is symbolic and representative of three things: God's endowment, God's endorsement, but God's empowerment. And the anointing symbolizes that God has given one the authorization to act, the unction, the function, and the power to fulfill whatever position, whatever work, whatever service that person is called to. It is pointless to have a product and don't have no power. There are some gifted people who can sing. Is this music wrong? Oh, let me go a different direction. Gifted folk that can sing in some other church. But they ain't got no power. You don't have to sing a song with a beat in order for the anointing to show up. As a matter of fact, you really could sing "What a Friend We Have in Jesus." Have a day that you feel friendless. Singing "What a Friend We Have in Jesus" becomes a powerful song to you. The anointing and your gift is not the same. Your gift is the product, but anointing is the power. I will not bother you on this one. I'm going. Your gift and anointing is not the same. Your gift is the product, but the anointing is the power. You can have education, and that's a good gift, but you're going to need some anointing. All right, let me just drop it in your lap. And you can have education and get a job, but the anointing needs to show up when you go to the interview. I'm digging a hole. I'm digging a bad hole in here. You can go to the bank and have an 800 beacon score, which is an excellent score. And you can have everything you need. But that's the product. But you're going to need some anointing to show up on the other side. For somebody grants you the loan. Those who God anointed are not anointed so people can draw close to them. That's one thing that bothers me about preachers. It ain't about you. It's about who you preach about. I need to say something to my ministers right here. So stop looking for accolades. When you preach on the anointing, you don't have to worry. Come on, deacons, help me here. Don't stand up in this church and pray and want somebody to say something you have to worship until you show me pray. Lord have mercy. The anointing is what touches folk. It's not the person. God has to work through you. Whoever God anoints, they're anointed. So people can be drawn to God through them. Can I get a witness? So when you encounter someone that's anointed, you ought at least encounter the presence and the power of God. I would rather have anointing than to have gift. Oh, this is bad. A lot of you babies around here got gifts, but you ain't got no power with your gift. Can I help? But you cute. Oh, you a sweetie pie. Oh, but you ain't got no anointing. You even got a swag with your walk. Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. But you have no anointing. And then what was Lord Henry saying? What makes you attractive is the anointing that lives on the inside. Come on, you can package it if you want to. Wear it short, wear it low cut, do whatever you need to do. Let it all hang out. And get Lord have mercy. I'm so glad I'm at my church. That ain't what draw folk to you. And if it is, it's temporary. Child, this ain't going good. I need to cut this short. My preachers have grown weary on this. I'd rather have the anointing than have the gift. I don't want people drawn to Brodie. I want people drawn to the God that lives in me. What we find in the Old Testament, those that were anointed predominantly fulfilled the office. Usually of a king, a priest, and a prophet, to which Jesus Christ fulfilled all three offices. He was a king, he was a priest, and he was a prophet. And when we continue to study the anointing in the scripture, we discover after Pentecost, in the New Testament doctrine, all of us who are part of Christ's body share some portion of the anointing. Watch this, you may not be anointed to teach, to preach, to pastor, to sing, or even play an instrument, but you can have an anointed amen. He'll give you anointing to say amen. You can come in here just as mean if you want to be. But the anointing will crucify your enemies. You can come in here delirious, disturbed, and diabolical. But guess what? The anointing will destroy you every time. You can come in here hurt, but if the anointing show up in this building, it'll give you some happiness you never had. Everybody has some portion of God in the body of Christ. You have some kind of anointing. And when you encounter, you'll find that there's some power and presence of God. Let me find somebody here early in the worship that can remember some days that it wasn't you, but it was God that did it. In fact, if you tell the truth, that you really didn't have enough power. Let me get somebody to shout, God did it. I tell you what, if God ever do something for you, man, you ride in the car by yourself. Shout all by yourself. You start saying, God did it. And when your child get healed, when your child gets saved, when you come out of the hospital, you will say, God did it. I wish I had anybody here. You get a new job, guess what? God did it. You start your own business. God makes it successful. God did it. You can have enough money and still don't be successful. But I got to find somebody in here that can thank God that you seen some days in your life. It was not you. It was nobody but God.
Nobody but
I really want to quit this thing. Y'all ain't said amen all morning over here. Come on, talk to me. Let me find somebody here that really can thank God that it sure was God did. Come on, anybody here can thank God that it was God that brought you out. God that delivered you. It was God that saved you. He healed you from leukemia. He healed you from cancer. It's God that did. I tell you what, unfold your arm. Well, let's have a little show. I appreciate that. I'm sorry, Bishop. If you're in the body of Christ and you have some degree of Christ's anointing, at some point in your life, you will draw others to you. You will draw them to you through your godly gift, your godly ability, your godly acumen that God has given you in your life. And that's really the lesson that helps us see God's purpose in our life. I probably could just stay there this morning because I got some babies in here, you straight struggling. With God, what's my purpose? Matter of fact, what's my purpose for going through this hell? Lord have mercy. What's my purpose that you let me wait in and let folk that live worse than me that don't even go to church?
Have mercy, have mercy.
You're always blessed. What's my purpose, God? I really don't understand. And you let everybody cuss, clown, and cut up. It seems like they got everything going. What's my purpose? I got everything going. I look the part. I feel the part. I got the swag. I got everything that I need. But I really don't understand why is it that I'm the only somebody that seems like I'm always last. I lose a job. I got crazy folk on the job. But what's I pay my tithe. I go to Sunday school. I even show up for Bible study, and I still seem like I just can't get ahead. Anybody in here had ever had to work from behind?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So really, this lesson really helps us see God's purpose. Y'all stop rushing me. I've been waiting on you all morning. And the onset of this context, you'll find that the scripture begins with a firing. It begins with a termination. Wrong side. I can tell y'all ain't never read the Bible. If you can read the Bible, you'll see it begins with a pig slip basis. It begins with pick your paycheck up at the unemployment office. It begins. I know the text, you don't. I mean, and it's come on, say amen. It's right here. Israel in its efforts to try to be like their surrounding neighbors, they wanted to shift from theocracy to monarchy. And they wanted a king like other surrounding nations. And guess what? Israel had gotten to the point. Mario say, man, they ain't talking to me up here. And guess what? They had got tired of following God. What a crazy indictment. They saw things that you and I would never get a chance to see. They saw a cloud by day and a fire by night. They saw water come out of the rock. They saw quail meals on wing program. And they saw the Red Sea split and folk walked through it. And they saw a spectacular manifestation of God. And then they wanted to be like their neighbors who had a parliamentary, they had a political system in place. So instead, they wanted to put God aside. Now, I want to tell you something. Hey, don't never put God aside. They wanted a king that they could see. But God is a spirit. We worship him in spirit and we worship him in truth. Yes, Lord have mercy. I need somebody here ever felt the anointing when you went in the church.
Have mercy.
I got the wrong church now. You when God just showed up in your house?
Yes, sir.
Come on, help me here. And you start weeping, wailing, crying, throwing your hands up. And I tell you something, you can be DOA, dead on arrival. But if God ever show up and anointing hits you, come on, watch this. I'm going to show you when the anointing show up. And when you get ready to cut somebody out, you want to punch them in the face. And when God said, don't do it, vengeance is mine. Oh, shucks. Said the Lord, I will repay you.
Yes, he will.
Come on, talk to me. Anointing is short when you want to scratch somebody's eyeballs out. The anointing is short when you want to hit somebody in the Adam's apple. I wish y'all somebody like you ain't that. Don't you tell me the anointing won't show when you want to trip somebody up. The Lord will tell you, put your feet in the right place. Your feet, y'all remember what Big Mama said, don't you? Your feet belong on the ground. Y'all wake up on that front lawn. Y'all want to go to sleep, sit in the back seat. I preach too hard for this fool. Come on, help me. Sit back over there and do something. So God, things he gave what they wanted. He allowed them to have just what they wanted. They wanted a king. He allowed them to have their first king, who was named, I'm in the Bible, Saul. Can I tell you something? Go ahead. Saul was never God's guy. Saul was the people's choice. Let me go to rewind. Saul was never God's guy. But Saul was the people's. Sure. Saul now comes into a place of disobedience. And at the opening of 1 Samuel, chapter 16, God raises a question to Samuel. He said, y'all got a Bible to show? How long you gonna mourn over Saul? Because